the EVPs apparently threatening to leave AEW and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 5th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. When speaking to Kenny McIntosh of Inside the Ropes, WWE star Rhea Ripley was asked about her heel turn, saying, "I think it was really important because things slowly start to get stale and I'm always up for a change. And I'm always up for a gear change in a way as well, which I think I really needed. I was sort of in the tag division doing my own thing with Nikki ASH and then Liv, and I sort of lost myself and lost that brutal streak that I had in a way as well. I was becoming too lovey-dovey and just like trying to please people again, which is what I did when I first moved to America and I was in the first ever Mae Young Classic. So I found myself just sort of shifting back to that, and I was like, nah fam, I don't want this, I don't like this. So I'm just gonna be me again and be confident and be a menace and just be chaotic and brutal." So that's where that gear change sort of just came from. With Ronda Rousey finally coming into her own as the baddest woman on the planet, Dave Meltzer talked about the reason for her booking in WWE, saying on Wrestling Observer Radio, "No, the idea is to get her to be a heel. Here's the thing. The idea for Ronda Rousey actually is to get her to be what she was before, which is to break out of the pack, mainline woman superstar. Not just a woman on the roster who is below Bianca Belair and all that, which she kind of was becoming. They want to get her back to special attraction, big Brock Lesnar star." During the post-all-out media scrum, Chris Jericho gave a warning to AEW talent in regards to their freedom. "My message always is to remind people how special AEW is, and don't take that for granted. Swearing and that sort of thing, all it takes is the wrong guy to see somebody say pussy. Please don't ruin or potentially ruin this amazing world we've created. Where I came from, working for Vince for 20 years, these kinds of things were unacceptable. I'm trying to let people know that these types of things are unacceptable as well." When talking about the return of MJF at All Out, Jericho explained that Max did not want to return as a face. "I said to MJF, when you come back, you're going to be a babyface. I don't want to be a babyface as MJF. It's going to happen. I don't know what to do. I'm sure The Rock or Steve Austin said the same thing. You can do a babyface comeback. It's easy. I'll show you. It's easy to make people hate you than it is to make people like you. But once they start hating you, that's when they start liking you. I think he'll be one of our top babyfaces, whether he likes it or not." During his interview with BT Sport, Triple H was asked about all the changes he's made in WWE since taking over creative, as he said, "I don't look at anything and go, I need to fix that. It's just what works for me. That's really where it's at. I look at things a certain way. To me, if I want to have the Intercontinental title mean something, I need to make it mean something. I'm a big advocate of the past. Sometimes when you lived in the past, you don't see it the way other people do that were outside looking in on the past. When I look at some of that past stuff, I see it differently than anybody would, and maybe Vince would or anybody that was there. I saw performers of that generation differently than Pat Patterson saw them, because I would see them and go, oh my god, that was amazing. Pat would go, he's an idiot. He knew them, knew the ins and outs, knew what they were like to work with. If you're making ice cream, I'm just making the ice cream I like, and hopefully everybody else likes that too. I approach this, and Vince is the one that taught it to me. Put yourself in the seats. If you put yourself in the seats and you're just a fan and book it like a fan, you'll never go wrong. That's what I'm doing. It's not a matter of, I need to change that, I need to fix this is wrong, I don't like that, this was done wrong. In the moments I'm going through this, I think to myself, what seems right? You mentioned the Matt Riddle thing. We're going into this moment in time where this is super real, and they're going to hit each other in this super real manner and these promos and get into it in a different way than we've traditionally done. He's got a first name. It feels like we should give him that first name. name. If we're going to hyper-real, we should go hyper-real and bring the reality in more, and still, I 100% agree that being a WWE superstar is more meaningful than being a pro wrestler. That will rub a lot of people wrong, but anybody can be a pro wrestler. There is a guy in front of 5 people at some place right now who is a pro wrestler. It's like saying I'm a cage fighter. I've been to a million gyms throughout my career, and when MMA got big, every place you'd go to, you'd be working out and some guy would come up to you with a shaved head and tattoos, mostly tribal, and would say, I'm a cage fighter. The truth is, are you in the UFC? That's sort of the standard bearer. I'm sure others get that. It's not a knock. It's just a different level. Anybody can play football who plays in the NFL. It's a different level. Anybody can wrestle who makes it as a WWE superstar. It's a different level. With Roman Reigns successfully defending his undisputed title against Drew McIntyre, it was an assist from the debuting Solo Sikoa that made that win a possibility. Talking about the future for the Tribal Chief, it was said on Wrestling Observer Radio that he's not on the next show, Extreme Rules, for October 8th. His next championship match is in Saudi Arabia. I don't know who against, but I know it's Saudi Arabia. He's not on the Philly show. During the post-all-out media scrum, AEW champion CM Punk immediately touched on the situation with Hangman Page, bringing up Punk's previous issues with Colt Cabana. I haven't had anything to do with Scott Colton for a decade. Probably didn't want anything to do with him for even longer than that. It's unfortunate that I have to come up here and speak on this on my time, and this is a business. Why I'm a grown-ass adult man and I decide not to be friends with somebody is nobody else's business. But my friends, if I fall backwards, will catch me. Scott Colton, I believe, never would have. My problem was I wanted to bring a guy to the top that did not want to see me at the top. You can call it jealousy, you can call it envy, whatever it is. A relationship with Scott Colton ended long before I paid all of his bills. I have every receipt. I have every invoice. I have every email. I have an email where he said, and I quote, I agree to go our separate ways. I will get my own lawyer. You do not have to pay any more. That's an email I have. The only reason the public did not see that email is when I had to countersue him for discovery, we discovered that he shared a bank account with his mother. That's a fact. As soon as we sent a subpoena to old Marcia, he sent an email asking, oh, can we please drop all this? Now, it's 2022. I haven't been friends with this guy since late 2013, 2014. And the fact that I have to sit up here and we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs who couldn't manage a target, and they spread lies and BS. And they say that I got him fired when I want all to do with him. I want nothing to do with him. I don't care where he works. I don't care where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is embarrassing. Y'all are at fault, then f you. If you're not, then I apologize. But what did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed dumb like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television, go into business for himself? For what? What did I ever do? Didn't do a thing. Apparently, Punk's comments caused a fight to nearly break out with Fightful writing. By the time the wee hours of the morning happened, there were unconfirmed rumors that CM Punk and Ace Steel and members of the Elite were involved in some sort of confrontation. We've heard varying accounts of how involved it was. By the end of the press conference, several talent and media had learned that the incident had happened. Sticking with this story, it was said by Sean Ross Sapp that EVPs Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were very upset following Punk's comments at the media scrum. With it said that immediately after the scrum rant, talent had informed us that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were extremely pissed off, and one claimed they were threatening to walk over the comments. We had heard prior that at least one of the Young Bucks had been in contact with talent outside of AEW, indicating that many of the rumors heard about Punk and the frustration around him were true. Some media believed the Elite were scheduled for the scrum, but an adjustment was made after Punk's scrum, but that isn't confirmed. Around then, security went around the scrum area in a hurry. We haven't learned if that was related to this situation, but all of this information filtered in at the same time. It would be added that Ringside News was told that Punk drew a line in the sand. You're either with him or F you. he wants you gone. We can also confirm that there was a physical altercation, and we were told that Punk was the aggressor, but we were unable to confirm who he took a swing at first. A Steel was also present in the melee. The fight took place in the hallway during Swerve and Orgori's time during the scrum, so it happened right after CM Punk left the room. We were also told that this completely divided the locker room, and the scene was terribly unprofessional. We were told that the locker room is in chaos now. They are 100% divided because it's either for or against CM Punk. A majority of the locker room is also against CM Punk, with Danhausen and FTR being the only talent we can confirm who are still likely to basically stand behind Phil Brooks. Talent were discussing this event non-stop after it went down, and nobody is happy about things. The whole ordeal was described as wild and chaotic. Talking about the All Out pay-per-view last night, Brian Alvarez noted something interesting that took place after Malakai Black's match, saying they cheered him, he blew a kiss, he bowed, and he left. Man, I thought, this dude is done. I don't know if he's done because Tony was asked about it and Tony didn't answer. He said he couldn't talk about it. If he's not leaving, then why didn't you say no, he's here? Meltzer would add, I certainly felt that reaction and everything. What's interesting about it, a couple of weeks ago about, oh, Triple H is back and he's gonna want all of these guys back. And the two names mentioned were Adam Cole and Malakai Black. And Khan said they're under contract for 4 more years. And now 2 weeks later, Malakai Black is waving goodbye, or is seemingly waving goodbye. If it was just him blowing a kiss and it means nothing, Tony wouldn't have said I can't talk about it unless it's an angle. And I don't think it didn't feel like an angle. Also, the thing is that he took the pin. He had the mist blown in his face. He had his own gimmick done on him by Sting. He got pinned by Darby. If they were going to win that match, that's Buddy Matthews' role. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.